So let's jump into this.
That's a Jannah.
Taliban apologist, yeah? Are you supporting terrorists? You're this and you're that.
Are Taliban good or bad? Now, those of you that have the attention span of a goldfish, the conclusion is going to be, we don't know. Yeah, we don't know. Okay, but there's so many different variables at play here. It's very difficult to pin this down.
A year ago, when USA left Afghanistan, in the dramatic way most of us vividly remember, Smile to Jannah couldn't decide whether the Taliban are good or bad. He already declared unequivocally half of the Western world and India bad because of things like banning fabrics in public places after terrorist attacks. But he was indecisive whether the Taliban are bad. What the Taliban ever do to deserve skepticism? Did they ever do anything?
That's a Jannah.
Just some of the faces of the 145 people killed, including 132 children, during a terror attack carried out by the Taliban in an army-run school in Peshawar, Pakistan.
The moment a bomb went off in the Afghan parliament building in Kabul on Monday morning.
Why not give the Taliban the benefit of the doubt? Isn't that right? Smile to Jannah.
However, it's still worth considering why people are confused, yeah, and why this question is being asked. So let's deal with bad, yeah. Now the reason why they're considered bad is because when they were in power, they would mete out certain punishments, yeah, and those punishments were according to their interpretation of Islamic law, the Sharia, and also their treatment of women, yeah? It's not the mainstream Islamic view. However, this started changing when the West took over and occupied Afghanistan and put their puppet regime there, the Afghan army and the Afghan leadership.
According to Smile to Jannah, this is not real Islam. This is what the West brought to Afghanistan. This is what he just said.
These guys were not doing their job yet because they were corrupt and they were killing people. It was very messy. In the meantime, in the lands that the Taliban controlled, they set up their own courts based upon Sharia.
The Taliban courts do have a reputation for being much more fair than the government courts.
I'm brown, so I'm going to have to constantly make these reassurances, okay? Look, if the Taliban does something bad, they need to be called out on it, yeah, just like anybody else.
Like you are calling them out here. If, look what this guy says. If the Taliban did something bad, if, we don't really know. One day we might find out, eh? It's not like France, that we already know they are bad. The Taliban, one day we might find out.
Topics of this video are of an adult theme, so viewers' discretion is advised. Is France a pedophile's playground?
Wait, astaghfirullah, what's going on?
Oh, oui. Yeah, that's right. No, not what you flushed away in the toilet this morning. Oui in French means yes.
So, Afghan parents selling daughters, child marriages in Afghanistan, they should have the benefit of the doubt. But France is unequivocally a pedophile country. Isn't that right? Smile to Jannah. I mean, how outrageous can you possibly be? How outrageous? There are no words. I'm losing my words. How biased can you possibly be, you idiot? How biased can you possibly be?
When an average person is asked, France, mate, what's France about? You may reply, It's about the Eiffel Tower. It's about croissant. Oh, yes.
So, France, after countless terrorist attacks, they banned your mental disease from public spaces. Okay. No benefit of the doubt when it comes to France. But when it comes to the Taliban, let's see what you are saying.
Look, if the Taliban does something bad, they need to be called out on it. Yeah, just like anybody else. However, if they do something good, the media should not be ignoring it just because they want to push forward a certain narrative.
Now it's the bad Western media that misunderstood the Taliban. Western media trying to push a certain narrative. Okay, let's see.
And if a person points out the media lies, for them to be investigated or called a terrorist sympathizer, no. It's ridiculous, mate. Taliban's here. What happens next? Yeah, that's the question. Yeah, you've got NATO and Boris and Biden. They've all accepted that, and even Russia is optimistic with the Taliban leadership as well. Are you gonna call them a Taliban sympathizer? Of course not. Yeah.
You know who is the best anti-Islamic polemicist in the world? It's not David Wood. It's not Robert Spencer. It's not Socrates Son. It's not me. It's time. Time exposes these fools better than any polemicist can ever do. Okay, just give it some time. They are like seed. Okay, seed eventually flow. You cannot hide them.
So, yeah, let me go through these 10 things that I picked up. Yeah, I'm going to go through them one by one. Okay, so the media is emphasizing that the women won't be able to go to school. Yeah, they'll be drilling this in. However, it's failing to highlight that the girls are already back to school.
Well, girls in the western Afghan city of Herat have attended school just days after the Taliban takeover. The armed group says it will ensure inclusiveness for women despite its strict guidelines on how they should dress.
They're also failing to mention that the Taliban is having talks, as you can see, with healthcare professionals, reassuring them and saying you can continue doing what you're doing and we shall support you.
Smile to Jannah, you must be an oracle. You must be an oracle. So, okay, let's see 1 year later whether your blind faith to the Taliban was justified and whether the Western media were wrong. How does the Taliban treat men standing for women's rights in Afghanistan? Let's see. The Taliban Minister of Higher Education. Islam never allows women to engage in prostitution under the pretext of education. She is obliged to produce children and serve her man, not to get educated. In 2022, this statement. This is how the Taliban treats women in 2022 who protest for the right to be educated. So glad to see men of Afghanistan standing in solidarity with Afghan women. Male students have refused to take exams in order to protest. Male teachers have also resigned to join the protest. Afghanistan is the only country in the world right now that bans girls from going to school. It has been 438 days since Taliban ordered girls to stay at home.
بودیم هر جایی میتونستیم درس خوانده ولی از وقتی که طالبان آمدن بعد از اینکه ما از مکتب‌ها رخصت شدیم افغانستان مثل یک زندان بر ما شده.
A Kabul University professor ripped his diplomas on live TV in Afghanistan in defiance of the Taliban ban of women's education, an outstanding act of solidarity and protest. This is what real men are doing. Smile to Jannah. Not smile in the face of evil to protect a cult. Smile to Jannah. This is the real man. You are just a boy, like your friend says. Taliban governor rapes 2 young girls and then beheads them in front of their families. Any joke about this?
to Jannah.
You are being real in a fake world, eh? Okay, let's see some more reality. Restricted from even the most basic human needs. Heinous child abuse. And you are complaining why France is banning this. You shameless buffoon.
France, mate. What's France about? You may reply, it's about the Eiffel Tower.
France is about not letting you, maniacs, abuse children. That is what France is about.
I've lived in Kabul since I was born. I went to school here and I grew up here. My life has changed a lot. After the Taliban's takeover, I haven't been to school and I know when it will reopen.
Huda was born 7 years after the US invaded Afghanistan and overthrew the previous Taliban government. Born into an affluent family and raised in Kabul, she is a child of the Afghan Republic. We have to get educated and do something for our country, but they won't allow us to go to school now and they give women less rights. The only life she has ever known in Afghanistan is one in which she was relatively free to dress as she liked, spend time outside with her friends, and say publicly what was on her mind. They used to throw stones at women who didn't wear hijab, so that scares me. I have to wear it now.
You don't need to worry, my child. Smile to Jannah said it will be okay. So, it was better when USA had a leash to these maniacs. Isn't that right? And you were talking shit 1 year ago.
Then you can't leave if you think that that is still a problem. You know what I'm saying?
I think most of our strategic competitors around the world would like nothing better than for us to remain in Afghanistan for another year, 5 years, 10 years, and have those resources dedicated to being in the midst of a civil war. It's simply not in our interest.
So you see, Afghan lives don't matter. So despite what they say to the media, if it mattered to them so much, why on earth would they leave like this?
The issue here is not just the withdrawal of U.S. forces, it's how they were withdrawn. The rapidity, the hastiness.
You can see footage of Afghans clamoring on to an aeroplane and trying to leave because they're confused. They don't know what's happening, what's going to happen. And the aeroplane is taking off and people are saying, look, people are falling from the aeroplane because they tied themselves on there. But the question should be, why on earth is the aeroplane taking off when there's people attached to it?
Because your mental disease called political Islam is threatening to Americans. People are afraid for their lives. The reason why USA left and nothing was done in the country of Afghanistan is because your mental disease made Afghanistan a lost cause. The poor people in Afghanistan were left because USA concluded it's a lost cause. The disease we call political Islam was so strong in Afghanistan that USA decided this patient is done. There is nothing more we can do for him. The world gave up on Afghanis because your mental disease is so strong that it's like a patient with stage 5 cancer. Unfortunately, there is nothing we can do for him. Now, you can bolster and feel, pride all day because the only thing you care about is Islamic supremacy. So, the Afghanis won the USA. You can bolster all day, but real people in this world actually suffer. Smile to Jannah. Okay, you can joke about it, but real people in this world actually suffer because of idiots like you.
Because these people have become dehumanized. People are saying, oh, we better not have immigrants, mate. Hang on a minute. Afghanis didn't come here. You went there. You chose to go there.
They chose to go there. Are you serious, dude? Are you serious? Guys, I don't know whether I should laugh or cry at this point. I misunderstood you. I thought that you were kind of irresponsible or evil or even evil. But you are simply an idiot, my friend. You are too dumb to have any moral conscience. You are too dumb to have any moral conscience. What can I say, my friend? Really? USA chose to go to Afghanistan. I mean, okay, go sleep. Go sleep. Sorry, guys, now I feel like I'm attacking children with disabilities. Go sleep, my friend. And tell us tomorrow what dream did you saw.